Hi, this is a video walkthrough of the Spiral Bound Planner. What I want to do is just give you a walkthrough of the Spiral Bound version of Budget Your Best Life. So first of all, the size of it, it's US letter size, which is 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. It's basically almost A4 size. If I turn it sideways and put a piece of A4 paper alongside it, you'll see that there's a very slight overhang on the A4. So the planner itself is slightly shorter than A4, but it's about the same width. So that's the size of it. You might think that's a little bit on the large side, but the reason I did that is because it makes it a much clearer inside and you've got more space to write inside, so it makes it a much more useful planner. I did try the A5 version, which is basically half the size, but I found that I had to really squash up my writing and it made my eyes go a bit squiffy when I was trying to read it. So I've gone for the bigger size. I might try A5 later if people want it, but for the moment this is the size we're going with, the 8.5 by 11 inches. Okay, so it's spiral bound, which means it lies nice and flat when you want to open it up. You can flip it over and just write on one side of the document, or turn it over, write on the other side. It's quite comfortable to write with. And also I've chosen a nice glossy outer cover. It's a thicker card with a nice glossy finish. I don't know whether you can tell that with this. There we go. So it's nice and soft and smooth. And inside I've chosen a nice quality, thicker interior paper. And the reason I've done that is because when you, with the documents, you write on both sides, so you don't get the bleed coming through. And it's a nice silky finish as well, so it feels comfortable to write on. Okay, so if I whiz through the planner just quickly to give you an idea of what's in it. First of all, the inside page is just to put your name on. There's a little bit of blurb which explains how the planner works, and all these different sections I've got videos for which you'll find on the website, and the website's shown on the back of the planner, www.shesavesmoney.co.uk, so that's there for you to look at. And essentially it's a 12-month undated planner, so you can start it at any point during the year, but obviously we're about to start January and that's when I'll be starting mine, but it doesn't matter, you can start it whatever point through the year. So at the very start, I'll just get past the first few pages, but at the very start there's an opportunity to write your financial goals, and this is only at the start of the planner that we do this, and there's an opportunity to put 5 different goals down. I think any more than that and it becomes a little bit overwhelming, so 5 is more than enough. Also, there's an annual bill tracker, which is, again, it's a one-off sheet for the whole planner, and that's an opportunity to write down all those rogue amounts that come out of your bank account only once a year, but you completely forget about them if you don't write them down. So I've got one that goes out in September, which is a National Trust membership, and I forget about it every year, but this time I'm putting it in the planner, and I've created this annual bill tracker page to pick up all those kind of payments that you tend to forget about. Then we've got, over the next page, we've got the zero budget page, and I explain what a zero budget is at the beginning of the planner, and there's also a video on that, so I'm not going to go into any detail now, but in addition to that there's a page to put your monthly income, and then over the page we've got a bill tracker here, which is a monthly page where you note down all your direct debits, all your standing orders, all the automatic payments that go out of your bank account, and it gives you an opportunity to write them down so you're becoming aware of what's going out of your bank account, and then you can tick them off as you've paid them. In addition to that, I've got a spending tracker, which is essentially all the other items of expense that go out of your bank account. So it's things that you would pay for on a debit card, let's say, or maybe even cash. But these days it's mostly debit cards. So I've included in this spending tracker some additional columns so that you can categorize your spending, so it makes this a really useful document. So for example, we've got a column for groceries, one for household, one for personal, one for social, one for transport, and then if the item of expenditure doesn't fit into those categories, you can put it in the other column. I explain what sort of items I put. Some of them are obvious, but if you're not sure, I've got a section at the front part of the planner that explains what I would put in those columns. But it allows you to keep a track on exactly what you're spending throughout the month. And I also include a running total, so I can see how much I'm spending on my debit card every month. And I can also see how much I'm spending on groceries. Now there's 5 pages of spending tracker, which seems quite a lot, and for some months that is too much, but other months, particularly nearer Christmas, we seem to use up more of the pages. So there's as many pages as you need there. I then have a debt tracker, and that's the opportunity to write down and recognise what credit card debts you've got. It's very easy to receive these statements in the post and then file them away and pretend they're not there or forget about them. This page is forcing you to look at that and see exactly how much you owe on each credit card. So it's a good opportunity to keep a proper track on what you owe. There's also a page for what I call savings pots. In the US, they call these sinking funds. And essentially what that is it's items of expenditure that you know you're going to incur throughout the year, but you don't quite know when you're going to incur them. So it's things like car maintenance. And let's say you get a massive car maintenance bill when you have your MOT. If you've got a savings pot set up every month, what you'll be doing is you'll be dripping in a certain amount of money every month for your car maintenance fund. You might have more than one savings pot. In fact, you probably will have more than one savings pot, and they'll be for different things. So this is where you keep a track of those items. Over the page, we've got savings tracker, and that's where if you've got more than one savings account, and I do, this gives me the opportunity to keep an eye on where I've got some of my money. So I've got an opportunity to put the balances, how much is in there, and also the interest rate, because I like to keep a check on that. And finally, there's a notes page. So what you'll find throughout the year is there's 12 months worth of those forms that I've just spoken about, but also at the very back, I've included a couple of other forms which might be useful for you. One of which is a 12-month savings plan. And this is for any items that you're saving for. It could be something like a car, it could be a house deposit, it could be a wedding. It could be you want to build up an emergency fund. It could be for any number of different things. And what I've decided to do is create a savings plan so that you can work out how much money you need to save, how much money you need to put aside every month in order to save that amount. And then you've got a chance to keep a track of it here for a 12-month period. The final sheet I want to show you is the debt payoff plan. And that is, if you've got credit card debts that you want to pay off, then this is an opportunity to try and work out a plan so that you can pay off that money. So you'll be working out how much you owe, how long you think it's going to take you to pay that off, and how much you need to pay each month off against your card, and then you can keep a track of that there. Okay, so that's what's in the planner. It's intended to be a planner that keeps a track on all areas of your finance. If you don't like spiral bound planners or don't particularly want to invest in one of those, then I do have the individual files that are available in my Etsy store. And essentially there's 17 files, I think there is, and they're all bundled together. And it is the entire planner just in its constituent parts. So if you don't want to download all of the bits, if you don't need all of the bits of it, then you just download the trackers that you need. So you might want the spending tracker and the bill tracker, and you can just print them out as and when you need them for each month. I also have a Facebook group which we talk about this planner and how I use it every month. We talk about savings tips and budgeting tips in that Facebook group. And the Facebook group is called Budgeting Your Best Life. What I will do is put a link in that group for the Etsy shop as well as this planner, so that you know where you can find that information. I'm also doing a 3K savings challenge this year, and there's details of that in the Facebook group. So if you're interested in any of those things, then head across to the Facebook group, Budgeting Your Best Life. Okay, that's it for now. Hopefully see you in the group. Bye.